Once upon a time, in a bustling city, there lived a young man named Sam. Sam was a dreamer. He had big plans and even bigger ideas. He wanted to start his own business, write a book, and travel the world. But Sam had one small problem. He was a chronic procrastinator. Every morning, Sam would wake up with a burst of energy, ready to tackle the day. He would make a long to-do list, promising himself that today would be different. But as the hours passed, he found himself getting distracted. First, he'd check his phone. Then he'd decide to watch just one episode of his favorite show. And before he knew it, the day had slipped away. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Sam's big dreams stayed just that, dreams. His friends and family often reminded him of his potential, but Sam would always reply, "I'll start tomorrow." One day, while Sam was sitting in a park, staring at the clouds and thinking about what he should be doing, an old man sat down beside him. The man was carrying an antique clock, beautifully crafted with intricate details and a gentle tick-tock that seemed to echo in the quiet park. Noticing Sam's faraway look, the old man asked, "What's on your mind, son?" Sam sighed. "I have so many things I want to do, but I just can't seem to start. I always tell myself, I'll do it tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes." The old man chuckled softly and handed the clock to Sam. "This is no ordinary clock," he said. "It's a reminder." Sam looked at the clock curiously. "A reminder of what?" The old man smiled. "A reminder that time waits for no one. Every second that ticks by is a second you'll never get back. But here's the thing, it's not just about counting time, it's about making time count." With that, the old man stood up and walked away, leaving the clock in Sam's hands. Sam sat there, listening to the steady tick-tock, and something clicked inside him. He realized that all this time, he had been waiting for the perfect moment to start, not realizing that the perfect moment was now. That evening, Sam went home and decided to take the first small step toward his dreams. He set the clock on his desk, where it could remind him that every minute was precious. He started with something simple, writing down his business idea. The next day, he spent an hour researching. The day after that, he made a call to a potential mentor. Slowly but surely, Sam began to make progress. The more he did, the more motivated he became. He realized that the hardest part was starting, but once he did, everything else fell into place. The ticking of the clock became a comforting sound, reminding him that he was moving forward, one step at a time. Months passed, and Sam's small steps turned into giant leaps. He launched his business, and it quickly gained traction. He found joy in the process, no longer paralyzed by the thought of what needed to be done. Instead, he focused on what could be done each day. As business grew, so did his confidence. He started working on his book during the evenings, and even planned his first trip abroad. Before he knew it, Sam's life had transformed. He was no longer the procrastinator waiting for tomorrow. He was the go-getter making things happen today. Years later, Sam's business became a massive success, making him wealthy beyond his wildest dreams. But more than the money, it was the sense of fulfillment that truly mattered to him. He often thought about the old man in the park and the clock that had changed his life. One day, while walking through the same park, Sam saw a young woman sitting on a bench, looking lost in thought. He smiled, reached into his bag, and pulled out the old clock, now slightly worn but still ticking steadily. He handed it to her and said, "This is no ordinary clock. It's a reminder." The woman looked at the clock, then back at Sam, who simply nodded and walked away, knowing that the cycle of motivation would continue. Morale of the story: procrastination is the thief of time. But once we understand that every moment counts, we can turn our dreams into reality. The key is to start, no matter how small the step. Success doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment. It comes from making the most of the moments we have.